Glory to Jesus Christ, it's the Evangelist here. Blessed feast of the presentation or entrance to the Theotokos, which takes place on the 21st of September. What is the Italo-Greek Albanian Catholic Church? Where does it come from? Is it Italian, Greek, or Albanian? Let's go and find out. I think it would be more appropriate to discuss this in the city that has an Italo-Albanian Catholic Church. Let's go.
Outside of this one church town, there's a gold dirt road to a whole lot of nothing. Got a deed to the land, but it ain't my ground. This is God's country. We pray for rain and thank Him when it's falling, 'cause it brings a grain and a little bit of money. We put it back in the plate. I guess that's why they call it God's country. I saw the light in a sunrise, sitting back in a 40 on the muddy riverside, getting baptized in holy water and shine with the dogs running. Saved by the sound of a pin-found Dixie whistle in the wind, that'll get you heaven bound. The devil went down to Georgia, but he didn't stick around. This is God.
According to Wikipedia, the Italo-Albanian Catholic Church, Italo-Greek Byzantine Catholic Church, or Italo-Albanian Byzantine Catholic Church is one of the 23 Eastern Catholic churches which, together with the Latin Church, compose the Universal Catholic Church. It is a sui juris, or autonomous particular church in full communion with the Pope of Rome, directly subject to the dicastery for Oriental churches, and uses the Byzantine Rite. As the website of Our Lady of Wisdom, Italo-Greek Byzantine Catholic Church states, about 2 miles away from where I am now, which is under the Ruthenian Eparchy of Phoenix, and I think is one of 2 Italo-Greek parishes in the entire United States, the Byzantine Catholic Church in Italy is characterized by a unique phenomenon. Although it uses the Byzantine Rite, this church has been under the jurisdiction of the Pope of Rome, and like the Maronites of Lebanon, has never been in schism since the 6th century. Now, regarding the question in the intro, are they Italian, Albanian, or Greek? This particular church has its history in Italy, has grown under a majority Albanian following, and uses the Byzantine or Greek rite. This particular church has 2 dioceses or eparchies and 1 territorial abbacy, the Eparchy of Lungro, which has jurisdiction over the Arberesh, or Italo-Albanians of Calabria and continental Italy, the Eparchy of Piana degli Albanesi, formerly known as Piana degli Greci, which has authority over the Arberesh of Sicily, and the territorial abbacy of Grottaferrata. The diaspora communities throughout the world report to their local ordinaries, regardless of rite. The Byzantine presence in Italy knows 2 phases, Italo-Greek and Italo-Albanian. These phases are clearly distinct for historical, cultural, ethnic, and linguistic reasons, reflecting the general consciousness of the nation's Byzantine Rite Catholics. The Italo-Greek phase started as the Byzantinization of southern Italy during the reign of Emperor Justinian the Great, with a military campaign launched by the great general Belisarius in 535. In time, a Greek church in the area developed that had, at the peak of its power and influence in 10th century Italy, a number of dioceses and 2 metropolitan seats. The Greek church had a substantial religious influence on southern Italy and the confluence into people from all over the empire, especially at the time of the 7th century Arab invasions, brought to Italy a variety of Eastern Byzantine traditions. Since provinces tend to be more conservative than city centers, southern Italy may actually be a true archive of ancient Byzantine tradition. The Albanian phase of the Byzantine tradition in southern Italy began when the Ottoman Turks moved through the Balkans in the 14th and 15th centuries and wiped out the Balkan Christian states. The Albanian resistance collapsed after the death of George Kastrioti, or Skanderbeg, the leader of the Albanians. Thousands of Albanian refugees poured into southern Italy. The immigration of these Byzantine Albanians to the south of Italy was an ideal complement to the preceding Italo-Greek community. The reception was rather positive, economic, and spiritually. The new immigrants filled the population void when precipitated by disease and effects of an earthquake that devastated southern Italy in the 15th century. In southern Italy, Byzantine and Latin traditions found themselves side by side in liturgy, discipline, rites, customs, spirituality, calendars, fasts, and popular devotions. This occurred at a time when forces in both the Roman and Byzantine churches began to draw lines of distinction and division. The attitudes of the Latin ecclesiastical authorities regarding the Byzantine rite using immigrants were consistent. Periods of tolerance followed intervals of distrust, and alternating dispositions of concessions of privileges and those restrictions of the same privileges were presented as limitations of liturgical abuse. The Byzantine rite community received positive guarantees for the conservation of their cultural and religious autonomy after their arrival. A metropolitan archbishop with the title of Archbishop of Agrigento was nominated for the Italo-Albanians by the Archbishop of Ohrid, which also bore the title of Archbishop of Albania with jurisdiction over Albanians of the Greek Rite in Italy. Remarkable, this appointment was confirmed by the Patriarch of Constantinople with the authorization of the Pope in 1553, after the decrees of the Council of Florence were declared null and void by our separated Orthodox brethren. However, just 10 years later, the Council of Trent signaled a change. With the application of the Council's decrees, new conditions radically altered the regime established by the Council of Florence. Byzantine communities were placed under the jurisdiction of the local Latin ordinaries. Ordinations had to be done by the hand of a Latin ordinary or his appointed delegate. And for all practical purposes, Italy's Byzantine Catholic Church was absorbed into the Latin Catholic Church, keeping only its specific liturgy and disciplines like a married clergy. Latinization had begun. Had these practices continued, Italy's ancient Albanian Church would have been extinguished. In 1573, Pope Gregory XIII established a congregation of cardinals to study the issues affecting all members of the Byzantine Rite community, Albanians and Greeks, laity and clergy. The congregation finished its work with the publication of the Per Brevis Instructio in 1596. This recommended, among other things, the creation of a bishop without jurisdiction with the right to ordain clergy for the Byzantine Church in Italy. This instruction guaranteed at least the principle that the liturgical tradition would be respected. However, for more than a century, the Italo-Albanian Church continued to decline, as more people veered into the Latin Rite. Finally, in the 18th century, it was possible to establish seminaries in Calabria and Sicily, and the creation of bishops with ordination rights in those same cities. These institutions brought essential support to Byzantine and Catholic Albanians in Italy, but it wasn't enough to hold the scattered group together. In 1919, with the proclamation of the papal bull Catholici Fideles, the aspirations of Italy's Byzantine Catholics were finally fulfilled. Pope Benedict XV created an eparchy or diocese for the Byzantine Rite faithful of Calabria and southern Italy. With its see at Lungro. In 1937, Pope Pius XI and the Apostolica Sedes created the Eparchy of Piana degli Greci, later Piana degli Albanese, in Sicily. The same pontiff elevated the monastery of Grottaferrata to an exarchate monastery, or a territorial abbacy. The Italo-Albanian Church follows the Constantinopolitan Recension and is presently renewing its authentic traditions, which had deteriorated with Latinization. The monastery of Grottaferrata has its own ancient liturgical tradition and is a source of study for specialists of the Byzantine liturgy. They have published the magazine Roma e l'Oriente, which anticipates many of the trends of modern ecumenism, especially on relations with the Orthodox. According to the Catholic Near East Welfare Association, the Italo-Albanians have never done an official act of schism with the Orthodox Church. During the course of integration with Italian culture and with the Catholic Church, the Italo-Albanians have always maintained a rapport of congeniality with the Orthodox Church. At the Church's first intra-eparchial synod in Grottaferrata, a delegation of the autocephalous Albanian Orthodox Church, composed of 8 members, is presided over by a bishop, participated as observers. This was more than 25 years before Vatican II, by the way. So, this isn't modernist ecumenism. This brings us close to the end of our video. But we aren't done yet. Now for an important piece of news. The Pope has selected the Reverend Father Artur Bubnevich as the bishop for the Ruthenian Eparchy of Phoenix, the eparchy which the parish that I sometimes attend is part of. May God grant him many years ahead, and he will be installed on the 28th of January, 2025. I dedicate this video to my late grandmother, who I visited yesterday, today, and tomorrow. This is the reason why I am not at my regular location and I am at a hotel room. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. And as always, glory to Jesus Christ.